Ukraine's previous president, Petro Poroshenko, has admitted that the 2015 Minsk peace agreements drawn up at the end of hostilities to end the hostilities in the Donbass meant nothing to Kiev. He says that they were only signed to give the government more time to strengthen militarily.
Чем завершились переговоры в Минске?
How did the negotiations in Minsk end? We achieved what we wanted. We didn't trust Putin then, and we don't now. Our task was to avert the threat or to delay the war. It was necessary to get 8 years for us to restore economic growth and build up a powerful military. This was the first task, and it was achieved.
The Minsk agreements were brokered by Russia, France, and Germany to end the civil war in the Donbass in the wake of the Kiev coup of 2014. Now, the Donbass regions of Donetsk and Lugansk refused to recognize Ukraine's new government, instead naming their own leaders. Kiev responded by sending in its military, which sparked a civil war which left tens of thousands dead. After Ukraine's military offensive failed, Kiev was forced to sit down for talks. Under the subsequent Minsk deals, the Donbass remained part of Ukraine, while Kiev agreed to give the republics of Donetsk and Lugansk autonomy along with their own elections. In the 7 years since the agreements were signed, the vote did not take place. Now, when Vladimir Zelensky replaced Poroshenko as president in 2019, he promised a boost to the peace process. However, those efforts also stalled. Kiev's failure to implement the Minsk roadmap and the continued shelling of Donetsk and Lugansk were among the primary reasons for Russia to launch its military operation in February. Ken Stone from the Hamilton Coalition to Stop the War told us that Ukraine's previous president bears full responsibility for the ongoing military conflict.
In his own words and in front of the entire world, he has admitted that during his entire term as president of Ukraine from 2014 to 2018, he undermined, he deliberately sabotaged the Minsk agreements. He bargained in bad faith. And therefore, he is an author of the current military conflict in Ukraine and should be held responsible after the war if there is some kind of tribunal. As for the countries which guaranteed implementation of the Minsk agreements, including France and Germany and the OSCE, these countries, they bear responsibility. They were either fools or accomplices of Poroshenko because for 8 years they did nothing to stop the horrendous loss of life in Donetsk and the turning of 1 million people into refugees. So they too are to blame. Clearly, there was a war being plotted against the people of the Donetsk and Luhansk republics. And when they tell us how much they care about the people of Ukraine, it's not true. It's not true. It wasn't true in Yugoslavia. It wasn't true in Afghanistan. It wasn't true in Libya. It wasn't true in Iraq. These countries are just pawns in a great global game of the U.S. empire.